Hey everybody, Brent back with another edition of Near Mint Musings, and this is episode number 2 of my postcards and pine tar series, where I show some postcard and postcard size type cards in my collection. And this is something I want to keep doing for a while, and finally got the time and amassed a few postcard type cards to show you guys today. I wanted to kind of do an imaginary journey, if you will, across the country and show you some random postcards in my collection. And I think I'm going to start at Yankee Stadium in the souvenir shop in the late 50s to early 60s. These were some amazing looking black and white postcards that were available in the souvenir shop at Yankee Stadium, late 50s to early 60s. So obviously not a playing days card of Babe Ruth, but nonetheless a fantastic looking card. There's the back. These aren't too expensive, but at the same time they're more than you think they would. Anything with Babe Ruth on it's going to be kind of pricey. Second off is just this great image of Lou Gehrig. This was actually the one that I saw first and wanted to get, and decided that this was something I wanted to add a couple to my collection. So this is really neat. I think this is a great image of the smiling Lou Gehrig. One day, someday, I will have a plain days card of Lou Gehrig. But until then, this will do nicely. And then the third one is actually playing days of these two gentlemen, Mickey Mantle and Stan Musial. Now, they weren't just Yankee players that they had at the souvenir shop. They had Jackie Robinson, obviously Stan Musial. I'm trying to think who else they had. Others can pipe in. As they know probably more than I do about this set, but this one was really neat too. Just love seeing two legends of the game together smiling. So this would have been playing days, late 50s, early 60s. So that's kind of neat. The back is what it is. This gets a lower grade just because somebody wrote a number on the back. So I will easily take a good looking copy of this because somebody wrote a random number on the back. Not too upset about that. So there's those three. Let you look at those for a second. So after we leave New York, I think we're gonna start heading west, and we're gonna stop off in the Windy City, Chicago, and I'm gonna get an autograph of Spokane, Washington's finest, Ryne Sandberg. He was born in Spokane, Washington, which is about an hour and a half north of me, and actually where my wife and daughter are right now. I'm spending some time together, getting away for a couple days before Easter, doing some shopping. Might have to sell this card to pay the credit card bill, but that's all right. Anyways, Ryne Sandberg, a favorite of my grandfather's, as we would watch the Cubs in the mid-'80s when I would go down to his house in Idaho. Would love watching some Cub games on WGN and hear the dulcet tones of I almost said Drew Carey, of Harry Carey. So this is great. Love the mustache. Actually, I'm going to clear these out here. So there'll be a few I'm going to be adding here. Just a clean autograph, too, of Ryne right there. I love it. And next stop, we'll stop by Cleveland and another local person. So this is the Earl of Snohomish. Snohomish being a little town at the foothills of the Cascade Mountains in Washington State. This is Hall of Famer Earl Averill. And this is just a great looking pose. Shout out to my Indians fans out there, Nina, Scott. This is a beautiful pose of the Earl of Snohomish. There's a beautiful look at my face in the reflection. Earl Averill. This was kind of cool. Just had a few little stats on the back there. You have 13 seasons with the Indians. Just a clean autograph on a beautiful image of Earl. It's Snohomish, Washington. Not too much coming out of there, but Earl was one of them. Next stop, we're going to hop on down to stay in the same state. We're going to go to Cincinnati, Ohio. And there is an autograph of Hall of Fame legend Frank Robinson. This is just a great photo. Love this. Looks like he spent some time up in Chicago himself. This is Wrigley Field, but this is Cincinnati Reds and Baltimore Orioles legend Frank Robinson. Just a photo, nothing on the back, but that's okay because I loved this image. So this is a great, great shot of Frank Robinson, one of the greatest players of all time. So I got my autographs, so I'm gonna keep on heading west, and I'm gonna go down to the state of Missouri. Need a place to stay, been driving all day, tired. Want to make sure I'm fresh for the next day. So I'm gonna stop at a Holiday Inn in Joplin, Missouri. That's right, it's the Mickey Mantle Holiday Inn in Joplin, Missouri. I might do a separate video on this, but the story behind this, and some of you have probably seen this card before. Back in '62, Mickey was I can't remember the person that he was connected with. This was when the freeway systems were really just blowing up, and the Americana while it was the death of Route 66, it was just the infrastructure and the freeway interstate systems were blowing up. And a colleague connection of Mickey's reached out to him and asked if he wanted to be involved with a hotel. And he said, sure, why not? We're going to brand it with you because that'll draw people in. So let's look at this amazing baseball-themed lounge. There's Mickey just, standing in front of a table with his autograph on it. You could sit down, have a nice, glass of whatever while the player piano back there is playing the sweet tunes of the early 60s. I just love Americana like this. I can't get enough of it. And when Americana crosses with baseball like this, and you have such a unique thing like a Holiday Inn owned by Mickey Mantle with all of his baseball themes, it's a beautiful thing. So we're going to spend the night in Joplin, Missouri at Mickey Mantle's Holiday Inn before we keep heading west. All right. So, and I might do a separate video on this because there's another Mickey Mantle card that I want to show. So I might save the rest of the information about this Holiday Inn hotel venture that Mickey had. So heading back out west, got a long drive, gonna probably stay the night in San Francisco. So, whether we can make it there in a day or not, I don't know. But when we're in San Francisco, I picked up this beautiful Exhibits of Orlando Cepeda. Just a really clean looking Exhibits. This is the stats back. This certain years, most of them didn't have stats, but this year they did. Exhibits are a whole nother exploratory thing where you can try to figure out what years they are. With stats back are pretty easy. You can pin them down to 62, but others you have to kind of look and see if it says printed in USA, if it does say printed in USA, what font does it use? If it's a certain font, does it have, periods after the USA? I mean, that's how nuanced you have to get to kind of figure out what some of the years are for Exhibits. But this one's pretty easy when it's got a stat back. It pretty much narrows it down to 1962. So we're in San Francisco for the night and picked up this beautiful Orlando Cepeda Exhibits. And we are heading to the beautiful paradise of Hawaii. And when I get there, or fast forward, I'm now in Hawaii. What did I pick up? Thank you for asking. This last one is something that when I saw it listed, I have a eBay search for SGC postcards, right? And a lot of times when those pop up, they're not baseball related. They can be anything, right? Usually they are, but sometimes they're not. This was one of them that wasn't, and I did not even have this on my radar. I wasn't even looking for this card. I didn't know this card existed. When I saw it, it's kind of cliche, but I knew I had to have it. And I didn't, full disclosure, didn't do much research on it. I think I did 10 seconds to see if I could find another one. I did, but it was a black and white version. You'll see this one's a bit different. So I kind of had a ballpark figure as to how much this should be, and it seemed like it was fair. It wasn't, there wasn't a best offer allowed, so I just went for it. And there's no regrets, 0 regrets that I got this 1910 Hawaii and South Seas of the Duke, the legend. Let's look at that image. So this normally is a black and white version, but this is the color version. Let's see, back it up here so you can get all of it in. Then I'll give you a close-up here in a second. Actually, let's just do this. Let's just hold it like this. What a great image of a legendary, iconic person in American history, in Hawaiian history. He went on to swim in the Olympics. So he is world famous, I don't know, for a lot of reasons. The back is beautiful too. He was one of the finest type of Hawaiians, gentle and courteous, and is now the official greeter of the tourist or visitor to Hawaii. He is generally in the surf at Waikiki Beach, Honolulu, every afternoon. He was born about 1890, and for over 15 years was the champion of the world. So this is really cool. Hand colored. There's not too many of these colored varieties, especially not graded. And I saw this and it just had to be mine. So we have ended our journey here in the beautiful state, the Aloha state of Hawaii. And I appreciate you coming along on this journey with me. I'm going to continue to do some more postcard videos here and there. You know, hopefully the cadence will be kind of like maybe once a month, maybe one every other month. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Any of these that really spoke to you, that you liked. Some of the postcards that I showed, I didn't have all my facts and figures together, so any kind of knowledge you can share, you know I'm a sponge when it comes to that kind of stuff. So please feel free to share any comments, or if anything that you have that you've seen you didn't know existed, or maybe you have some other versions of these cards that I showed. But until next time, I appreciate you all. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.